Making bread in your Thermomix is as easy as you can possibly imagine. You can mix and knead the dough usually in 1.5 to 2 minutes, and it's just delightful. What I'm going to do is just weigh in the flours. So here we go with some white flour, 500 grams altogether. So I'm going to do half white and half brown. 250, and if it goes a little over, it doesn't really matter because you can even it out with the other flour. And we're just going to take it up to 500. And I'm just going to add in 50 grams of olive oil. And we'll add 1 teaspoon of salt, 250 grams of water, which is basically half the weight of the flour weight. And then we need some yeast. Now I've got some fresh yeast here, which is quite crumbly, and I can just crumble it in, and I'm going to use 20 grams. Or you could use instant bread machine yeast, and in that case use a sachet or a heaped teaspoon. So we'll just weigh in some yeast here. Now we're just going to mix it together. It takes about 15 to 20 seconds to mix together, so speed 3. And actually that only took 7 seconds. What you're looking for when you're mixing bread is you're looking for the dough to start cleaning the sides of the bowl, and then it's ready to knead. And at this point we're going to add in our walnuts, because this is walnut bread that we're making today, and it will be very beautiful. So 100 grams of walnuts. And the walnuts will be handled really nicely because they're quite a delicate nut, but they won't be broken up too much with the kneading. So we're just going to set the dough setting for 1 minute 30 seconds, and in order to press the blade of wheat button, the dough button, you just need to go to the lid closed position first and then press the dough button, and it will be an intermittent setting, so it'll knead, rest, knead, rest. And that's the dough kneaded in 1.5 minutes. And all we have to do with the dough here is just take it out of the bowl, but no need to reach in and pull it out or anything. The easy way to take it out is turn the whole bowl upside down and just loosen the blades by releasing them from the bottom. And then what you end up with is a perfectly clean bowl, and the doughs all come out. And I've got a bowl here which has some olive oil in it, and I'm just going to put the dough into the bowl. Make sure that it's actually got a little bit of olive oil on both sides. So I've just turned it so it's got some olive oil on it. That'll keep it from drying out as it rises. And I'll just cover that with a tea towel and rise it once. And then once it's risen to at least twice its size, I'll punch it down to get all the air out, shape it into a loaf shape, and then I'll put it into a bread tin. And what we'll end up with is actually a loaf that has risen beautifully like this and is ready to go into the oven. Once it's been in the oven, we end up with a gorgeous loaf like this, ready to slice and have for lunch. Now for the Stilton pâté. You couldn't get anything easier than this. We're just going to weigh in 120 grams of Stilton. So we'll literally just put in some chunks. And then we're going to put in 60 of walnuts. And 30 grams of cream. And you just mix this for 20 seconds at speed 3. It's hard to believe anything could be this easy. And people will be amazed when you serve it to them. And there's that familiar song telling us that everything is done, that we set the timer for. And what we have now is we have a beautiful Stilton pâté ready to spoon out and put into our dish. And now we're going to make some hummus to go with that fantastic bread that we've already made and the Stilton pâté. When you make hummus, usually you use tahini, but because we have a Thermomix and because the fresh sesame seeds ground are actually much nicer than tahini, we're going to actually do it ourselves by weighing in 150 grams of sesame seeds and then grinding them. So here we go, and it's 30 seconds at speed 10. And what we've got now is the ground sesame seeds, and it's starting to become a paste down at the bottom. And tahini is just ground sesame seeds. And we'll add the rest of our ingredients now. The internal steaming basket can double up as a colander. So what we're going to do is just drain our chickpeas. We'll save a little bit of the liquid because we might need that in making the hummus. But there's the 2 tins of chickpeas, nicely drained, and they can go in. And we need a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of salt, and a good few grinds of fresh black pepper. And so I'm just going to tip that in. The cumin is ground in the Thermomix, so of course beautiful flavors. And I'm going to put in 3 cloves of garlic as well. If you didn't like garlic, you could do 1 or 2. Just depends on how much garlic you're happy to have. And a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. The juice of a lemon. So when you squeeze a lemon, you don't have to use a juicer. You can actually just turn the measuring cup upside down, and this little plate or dish area here will catch the seeds, and the juice will drop down around the measuring cup, and we'll just blend it at speed 9 until it turns into hummus, and it's quite amazing and fairly quick. And there we are with a fantastic hummus made in probably less than 30 seconds altogether. And there's our Stilton pâté, vegetable sticks, hummus, and fresh walnut bread.